could be alone between city lights. We don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Livestream. It's a little bit of a weird beginning to the stream today because so occasionally when I make the streams, I need to make the streams like in a bunch because otherwise I just forget and I just like sit down and make a bunch of streams. But some people have said, and I get this, some people have said it's annoying when all the streams show up at the same time in your feed and you just see a list of streams and the streams don't even start for, you know, a week. And it's annoying to see that in your feed. And I get that. I also find it annoying when there's too much of one channel in a feed. So what I decided to be smart this week. This week, I decided what I would do is I would make the streams, but I would mark them private so you don't see them in your feed. And then I would go back later in the week and make them public. But what I actually did is completely forgot about that plan and left them private. And then I was like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Nobody's here to watch my amazing stream. And it's because, yes, of course. Well, I was going to make, Dan636, I was going to make them public, but just like through the course of the week, right? I was going to go back, but I was going to spread it out. But actually making the stream is a little bit annoying. So I was going to try and be smart, and it did not. As usual, I was not smart. I was dumb. And, so here we are. Fortunately, many of you have made it anyway. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I do have to say, though, that the white balance on these two cameras is dramatically different. Wow. Look at that. That's really different white balance. Crazy. Oh, well. Probably doesn't really matter. This one's way redder. Huh. Oh, well. Ooh, that's sharp. What do you think about that? Yeah. That's pretty sharp. I got a new, I got one of these. Anyway, I thought I would try a little bit of a wash on the back wall to see how that looks. Looks pretty good to me. Looks more like a stream. Do I look like a streamer? Mom, I'm a streamer. Be impressed. Fabio says he's going to do the LUT for the GoPro as well. Interesting. I mean, that's plausible. I could also just change the white balance on the GoPro, but I bet it's the LUT. Hang on. Yeah, because Fabio gave me this LUT. Well, we're not going to go through all that nonsense again. Yeah, Dan636, the light is absolutely a purple, but it looks more blue, doesn't it? There you go. Mr. Eddie Nunes says JB is falling into the YouTuber RGB death hole. Soon everything will be RGB. Let's face it, the YouTuber RGB death hole. Everyone loves RGB, guys. Everyone loves RGB. You need more RGB in your life, and I'm all for it. So I was going to start the stream with this information about my schedule. So I am going to be, let's see, let's look at the calendar. No, center monitor. I am going to be on a trip from the 7th through the 18th. So there will be no stream. Wait, 4th, 5th, 6th. I'm leaving on this trip next weekend. So there will be no stream next weekend, the 6th, 7th, 8th. And we're going to put the news on hold too. Little hiatus from the streams. The 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And frankly, probably I'll be back on the 20th. So 2 weeks off. So I want to give you guys a heads up about that so that next weekend, when there's no stream, you'll know that it's not me screwing up. You'll know that it's me just having a schedule. So I appreciate you guys saying, hey, have a good trip, JB. I will try to have a good trip. It's not a vacation. It is it's a work trip. I apparently don't take vacations. I don't know how to do that. But it's a work trip. So anyway, that is that. So let's go ahead and mark another one of these as public before I forget. Tomorrow's live stream is now public. And the FPV news is now public. And then we'll reschedule the next one. So, all right. But for now, let's have a good time and talk about FPV. Who's going to be holding streams to fill the void? FBJV. I bet Ciotti will pick up my time. He usually does. I actually let Ciotti stream on my channel once. One time when I was out of town, I gave him my stream key and he streamed on my channel. I think our audiences don't 100% overlap. They like 60% overlap, you know. I wasn't sure that it was the right fit for my audience. I think he's good on his channel. There's some positive comments, but also some negative ones. Anyway, but I'm sure he'll pick up the extra streaming if during my time frame. Marcin Samocha, was there a winner of my giveaway? Yes, there absolutely was. Yep. In fact, if you look on that video, as promised. Now, granted, it took me a minute to get around to doing it, as always. But if we go back and we look at that video, you will see. I'm going to turn that down. You will see pinned right here at the top, as promised. The winner of the goggles is Edward Dorian. Edward Dorian won. Yeah. So, I know there's a lot of interest in that. Well, let's see here. When are we going to see some HD0 goggles? When are we going to see some... Dang it. Hang on, guys. I have messed up. I need to pop out this chat. Pop out chat. Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical issues, as always. When are we going to see some HD0 goggles? Yeah, good question. Unknown. I'm not muted. Darkman, I think you're muted, my friend. Not me. Darkman. License to drive. I forgot to public the stream. That's why you didn't see the notification. I am here. HD0 goggles. They're saying the May time frame for testers. That's what they're saying. Whether that will actually pan out that's a long way in the future. So who knows? But that's what they're saying. When are we going to see some HD0 receivers? Asks Ian Oliver. Again, that is unknown. Right now, HD0 development is tied up by lockdown in the city where their lab is. So that's why we're not seeing the 1 watt VTXs. And I think the same is for the receivers. Gabrielle Reyes? I just updated to 4.3 and I'm getting some strange jitters. How can I tune this out? Gabrielle, the number one thing you should do if you want the best performance out of 4.3 is go to the presets tab, go into the control link section, and apply the correct control link preset for your control link, which will help get the filtering tuned exactly right. There was a question about the jumper. No, not gonna be able to pull it up on screen. Okay, fine. There's a question about the jumper. So there is an issue with the jumper T Pro, the Express LRS version. People were very excited to see that the jumper T Pro was going to come out with an Express LRS with, did they say it was going to be 1 watt output power? People said, well, when I reviewed the Zorro, there was someone in the comments who was like, well, what about the T Pro? And I'm like, I usually try to hold back on reviewing something until I'm 100% sure, about it. So sure enough, we found that some of the people who've gotten the Jumper T Pro with Express LRS, there's an issue with how Jumper designed it. If you mess up the flash and brick it, the normal method for restoring it doesn't work because of the way Jumper designed it. And you have to basically open it up and solder in an FTDI adapter and flash it using an FTDI adapter. Which is not the end of the world, but it is pretty damn annoying. And it's really unfortunate. And if Jumper had only cooperated and not cooperated, that suggests that, cooperation. What I mean is if Jumper had only taken advantage of the Express LRS devs' willingness to help by working with them in the design process, this wouldn't have happened. But Jumper decided to manufacture the product. They decided to do it their own way. And as a result, they have made this mistake, which makes their customers' lives more difficult. So, it's unfortunate. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it is unfortunate. And frankly, it would turn me off because, if you have to flash the module, and with Express LRS you're flashing all the damn time. I mean, that's just you don't have to, but that you will. You'll be flashing all the time if you have Express LRS. That's just part of the game plan. Then the idea that I'd have to solder up an FTDI adapter in order to correct from a brick radio is no, forget it. So these guys need to work with the Express LRS devs, and they're in such a, my guess is they're in such a hurry to get the product out. They're just yeah, let's do it. We know what we're doing. And so often there are dumb mistakes like this in the hardware. Yeah. So Mouse FPV says, do you think they avoid the devs because they are afraid of stolen IP? I doubt that. I mean, who knows? But that seems unlikely, but who knows? Um, I mean, my philosophy is I am going to, if you release a product without the ExpressLRS devs partnership, without working with them, and there is anything wrong with it, you're dead to me. For the, not forever, but like when Jumper released the Aeon module, and that module is, as far as I can tell, fine in every way. But they released it, and they didn't get the target added to the ExpressLRS configurator, because the devs were like, what is this module? We haven't heard of this. I was like, okay, forget it. I'm not talking about you. I'm not going to talk about this product until it's in a state where the people who buy it can actually have a decent experience. And I hope that puts pressure on the manufacturers. That's why you didn't see me talk about the Jumper ExpressLRS module in my review of the T Pro. I had it, they sent it, and it's a fine module. I thought it looked really good. But if the person is going to buy it and go to the ExpressLRS configurator and be like, where is it? And the thing is, that's not that hard of a problem to solve. You just go to the right place in the menu and there it is. But I forget it. Manufacturers need to work with the ExpressLRS devs before they release an ExpressLRS product. Because the devs can and will make the product better. Because the devs know things that the manufacturer doesn't know. And so even if the manufacturer releases a perfect product, if they do it without working with the devs, I'm going to be suspicious. But if they release a product and there's something wrong with it, forget about it. Anyway. Is it possible? Snakes 504. Wait, before I get to Snake's question, FETtec is showing 18650 batteries in the Zorro. Someone has already modded the Zorro to put in 18650 batteries. Let's have a look at this. This is pretty cool if it's true. I mean, obviously it's true. Wow. That's a hell of a mod. This is Jai. Jai is a ExpressLRS developer, isn't he? Jai is not fooling around here. Went in there like, that's some modding right there, boy. That is some modding. What about the rest of the... Wow. Yeah, looks like they're soldered in directly, huh? Is that what's happened? Just busted the damn things out. That's something. That doesn't look like too hard of a mod, to be honest with you. All right. There's a question here. What was the question? Shoot. Shoot. I've lost the question. Oh, well. I'm very sorry for doing that. I kind of knew that was going to happen. I'm going to try just a second longer to find that question. Snakes 5044. There we go. I got it. Snakes wants to know, is it possible to update an SPI ExpressLRS receiver? So when you have an ExpressLRS receiver that's built into the flight controller, there's two ways that the receiver can talk to the flight controller. And one is via UART. Basically, it's as if you solder the receiver to the flight controller using the normal method. It's just that the receiver is integrated into the circuit board, but it's still connected via UART. And in that case, you flash it just like you would any other ExpressLRS receiver. You flash it via pass-through, or you flash it via Wi-Fi. Other times, the receiver is connected via the SPI interface. The advantage of SPI is, number one, it is a high-speed interface, so it's lower latency than a UART. And number two, it doesn't take up a UART. So if you've got a flight controller with, a limited number of UARTs, then not having the receiver take a UART gives you more UARTs that you can use for other things. But the disadvantage of the SPI-based receivers is that 100% of the code is built into Betaflight, okay? And that means that in order to update the firmware on the receiver, you have to update Betaflight. Except here's the thing. The Betaflight build is not updated as frequently as the ExpressLRS build. because the Betaflight doesn't release updates as often. So that's the biggest disadvantage of an SPI-based receiver, is that you are always going to be some number of releases behind the ExpressLRS builds, because somebody has to take the ExpressLRS code, roll it into Betaflight, and then release a Betaflight build with that code in it. To my mind, it makes me want to steer away from SPI-based ExpressLRS receivers, because I think if you're into ExpressLRS, then one of the reasons that a lot of people get into it is because they want to be on that cutting edge and trying out all the new stuff. So right now, if we go into the Betaflight configurator and we go to the firmware flasher and we look here in the upper left corner of the screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to release and release candidate, and I'm going to search for happy model. No, is it HM? No. Crazy Bee. Is it the Crazy Bee build? What is the happy model target for their ExpressLRS? Online configurator. Oh, that's the wrong one. ExpressLRS X1. Is this it? Built-in SPI ELRS. What's the target? So we have to find the target name. Here we go. Crazy Bee F4 SX1280 is the target. Okay, so now that we know the target, we go back here to Betaflight. SX1280. Okay, so right here, Crazy Bee F4 SX1280. This is a build of Betaflight 430. Does it ever say what version of ExpressLRS is baked into this? I don't think it does. So I believe it's 2.0, but I'm not sure. Really, I mean, honestly, the Betaflight, where are the release notes? Oh, I need to load the file. I'm sorry. That's my mistake. The release notes for this board. Fix ExpressLRS units test completion. I still don't see whether it says what version of ExpressLRS is in here. It's possible I'm overlooking it because it's a live stream and I'm just, Where's my face camera? Where's my face camera? Hey! Why is my face camera not working? NVIDIA!
Between concrete walls, there's a place for us where we could go,
What's going on?
where we could be alone.
What's going on here?
Between city lights.
Hello? NVIDIA, I'm in the middle of a stream. Can we get our shit together? Oh, you've chosen the wrong interface. There we go. Wow. Really professional, NVIDIA. It's probably something. Ooh, here we go. Hey, Bardwell. Okay, well, now let's go back to the chat and see what the chat has been screaming at me this whole time that I've missed. Mouse FPV. No, NVIDIA's not nuking my streams. It's me. It's me. There's a way you can download an NVIDIA API, and you can actually implement the NVIDIA background removal as a filter in OBS. That's what I need to do, but I haven't done that yet. Anyway, damn it! How did that happen? Sorry, guys. There we go. I got it. All right, so that's how you update an SPI receiver. You flash a new version of Betaflight. And if there is not a new version of Betaflight, then you're out of luck. Okay. The music is stopped. Take it easy. The music is stopped. It's all good. Okay, let's do some super chats. How about that? We had a $5 super chat that went away. No. We had a $5 super chat that went away when I reloaded the page, so I apologize to the very first person who left a super chat and is now gone. Thank you for your donation. Sincerely apologize for that. Let's see. Okay. Schizophrenic FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. If I have $260 and live in the UK, what's the best bang for buck goggle I can buy? I mean, I couldn't say what's available in the UK, but at the $260 price point, I think the Cobra X is the one to get. Mr. Huggy in the Discord agrees with me. The Cobra X, Flying Tech, thank you, Mr. Huggy, for that link to a UK-based retailer, flyingtech.co.uk. Cobra X, 200 euros. It's a box goggle. That's the downside. But it's fairly good image quality, fairly high resolution, and the receiver is fairly decent. So that's where I would steer you. Thank you for the $5 donation, Schizophrenic FPV. ET FPV, thanks for a $5 donation. Just saying thanks for the content. Thank you for the donation, ET. Phil from KC, thank you for a $5 super chat. I have an AIO that one motor is slow to turn on and off, and it flies like crap. Tried a different motor, same thing. Phil, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you had a motor that wasn't spinning reliably, and you swapped the motor, and then it still didn't fix the problem, probably the ESC is bad. Always hath been. So Phil from KC, I think you need to replace the ESC next. I'm so sorry. Always hath been says, I'm assuming I could use the SkyZone Cobra X with HD0. Yes, because it has an HDMI input, doesn't it? It has an HDMI input, and specifically says it could work with SharkBite. However, bear in mind, it is 800 by 480 resolution. SharkBite is nominally 720p resolution. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I apologize. The Cobra X is 720p, so you're good to go. Yeah, 16.9 and 4.3. Yeah, it will work with SharkBite. You are good to go there. So, Dayron USA, thanks for a $5 super chat. I updated my QX7 ACCST to EdgeTX, saved my models. EdgeTX Companion 2.5 won't write to the radio not found. Radio not found, it means that EdgeTX, are you using EdgeTX Companion first of all? Yes, you are. It means that it's not seeing the SD card. So you need to plug the radio in, and you need to select mass storage, and the SD card needs to appear. If that isn't happening, then that's why it won't write. So you need to figure out how to make that happen. If it's hard to know what step in the process is failing, though, Dayron USA, because, like, if you don't have your SD card, I assume that you saved the models with OpenTX Companion. So I assume you're plugging them in, and I assume you're able to read the models, but the same process, the exact same process should work with EdgeTX. So that's pretty weird. Radio not found. Yeah, it means it's not seeing the SD card. I mean, that's a fact. GMI Visuals, thanks for £5. Many thanks for your help answering my questions on Messenger. Yeah, going back to the question from Dayron. Dayron, do you see the SD card as a drive on your computer? That's the question, the first question. Shrey Gupta, thank you for 200 rupees. Hi, I had my flight controller die on me when I plugged in the battery. Ouch. 4S battery, flight controller powered VBAT through a 4-in-1 ESC. The onboard 9-volt regulator on the flight controller still works. What happened? It sounds like the 5-volt regulator died. So the flight controller internals run off of 3.3 volts, but usually the 3.3 volt regulator is powered from the 5-volt regulator. So if the 5-volt regulator dies, then the whole flight controller dies. The fact that the 9-volt regulator is still working, I mean, that just confirms that the flight controller is getting power, but it sounds like the 5-volt regulator died. And probably you'll now be replacing the flight controller. Why did it die? Because everything in this hobby breaks for no freaking reason. When you plug in, you get a voltage spike, and that's when something can die if it's going to die. BW, thanks for a $5 super chat. Does the 1200 milliwatt mod have any effect on the DJI V2 FPV combo? V2 goggles and FPV drone. BW, the 1200 milliwatt mod does not affect the DJI FPV drone in any way. In fact, the DJI FPV drone side of the goggles and the DJI Air Unit Vista side of the goggles are completely separate. Like literally, the goggle reboots itself into a different operating system when it goes between them. So, yeah. And now we are caught up on super chats. Horny Corn wants to know. Horny Corn wants to know. Oh, well, I can't get the question to come up on my... Hello? All right. Weird. There we go. Oh, wrong person. That's not Horny Corn. Ofri Sela wants to know, how do I know what's compatible when building a drone? This is a really tricky one because most things are compatible, but then if you don't already know sort of the cloud of what is and isn't compatible, like for example, I say most things are compatible. Well, so if you buy any Betaflight flight controller, it'll work with pretty much any BL Heli ESC. Oh, okay. That makes sense. There's a ton of Betaflight flight controllers and a ton of BL Heli ESCs. Oh, but you accidentally bought an APM, an RG Pilot Micro, running Pixhawk. Is that a flight controller? Is it compatible? Oh, maybe. So what I would suggest you do is you could always go to my website, fpvknowitall.com, and there are suggestions there for, excuse me, there are suggestions there for parts lists in various categories. And suffice it to say, all the stuff on this page is compatible, and when it's not compatible, there's, conversation about like what to think about. But in general, this stuff is all compatible. A good thing to do would be to just follow somebody else's build until you start to get a sense for what's what. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Crypto Vendor, for a $20 super chat. Yeah, there we go. Dr. Crypto Vendor says, oh, look at that. We got a little super chat. Oh, nice. I don't think this chat plugin used to do that. That's pretty cool. My DJI antennas came off after a crash. I think the tips of them have broken off inside the receiver module. Is there any way to get those out so I can install the new antennas? It's so small. Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can find a picture of this for you. This is this is like the #1 way that the air unit fails. So this is a post from DatFPV. Oh, well, the first comment is not encouraging. So I think maybe we shouldn't. Let's go ahead, but there's some criticism here. So the way that DatFPV approaches this is to open the air unit and resolder the MMCX connectors. So here are the MMCX connectors here, and with a little bit of skill, you can literally just resolder them. Now that is the last ditch because it is sometimes possible, you see here he's resoldering them, it is sometimes possible to get the MMCX connector out. Is this guy going to resolder them, or is he gonna... This is no respect FPV. Let's see what they do. Because you can also sometimes get in there. So here's the broken MMCX connector. You can sometimes get in there and pull it out. Which approach is he going to use? Let's see here. Skip ahead. Skip ahead. Ah, so he's using the approach of a screw with an MMCX connector. He's just screwed. I see. I missed the money shot here. He is going to take a screw and screw it in and try and get it out. That's really clever. Can I actually see you do it? I skipped too far ahead. No, I just want to see you actually do it. Maybe if I had audio, I would have not missed it. Oh my God. All right, you get the idea. There's the broken off one. Come on, boy. Let's do it. Let's see it. Let me see the money. Give me the money. Here we go. We're going to see him do it. Does he not show how to do it? Does he just show the result? Let me check the audio. No, he doesn't even show you doing it. Did I skip it?
Antennas out of the back, only to discover
he doesn't show the actual fix, does he? I'm not going to sit it. Okay, it's a freaking 1 minute video. I'm fast forwarding through it. I don't think he shows. Listen, you have to show the money shot, quote unquote. Please don't look up the origin of that term. You have to show it. It's cool. I understand what happened. You took a, what size screw is it? I guess it was an M3 screw. You take a screw, you screw it in there, you pull the thing out. That is brilliant. You have to show me. You give me the payoff. I want to see you do it. Yeah, but I had already done it. Okay. Go back. Fake it. Do it again. I don't know. You got to show me the thing I came to see. That's a great fix. This video would be so much better if it actually contained you performing the fix instead of just showing me the results. That's like saying, that's like I show you, welcome to Travis Pastrana's Nitro Circus. Here's a guy sitting on a dirt bike. Just a minute ago, he did a quadruple backflip. Show me. Okay. No respect, FPV. There's some free YouTube advice. No respect doesn't. 500 subscribers. You have 500 subscribers. No respect. You definitely care enough about YouTube to make quality content. It's a little tip for you. So here's the thing. No respect. I know how this happened. You were like, frick, my frickin' antennas are broken. And then you tried to fix it. And after you'd fixed it, you went, oh, that was brilliant. I should make a video about that. You gotta have that thought. You gotta go, oh, my shit's broken. Okay, I gotta start the camera. Now, just start the camera and then do your thing. You have to have it on camera, the actual thing working. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Crypto Vendor. That's the best fix I've ever seen for this. I've seen people go in with a little dental pick and try and pull it out, but it's too easy to mess up the MMCX when you do that. Sticking that screw that looked like an M3 screw, brilliant. Brilliant. And if you need to, you can just desolder and resolder. So, okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. A BW, we got you. I got everybody. Let's see. We got a super chat here from Senor Drone. Senor Drone says, I'm curious to see the review of the iFlight radio. Thank you for €5. Does it have a real internal ELRS module or just a regular module inside the radio? Yeah, so the Radio Master, Zorro, they worked with the Express LRS devs to develop a new way, and the EdgeTX devs, to develop a new way to have an internal Crossfire module. If I understand correctly, and I'm not 100% sure that I do, but if I understand correctly, OpenTX and EdgeTX didn't have a provision for an internal Crossfire module because only the Tango and the Mambo have that so far. Nobody else even has that. So they had to add the ability to have internal Crossfire interface so they could put the Express LRS as an internal module. How did Jumper implement that? We don't know. Because someone knows. I don't know. Because, and if there's if like Wes or Jay or Captain Bry is in the chat or somewhere who could tell me the answer, then I'll read it out. But The issue is that you could build a radio with an internal module that you wire up to the main board as if it was an external module. And the problem with that would be that you could then not have any other external module without some jumping through some hoops. Now, Ed Haley says the word module is the clue. All radios with internal modules are actually still using separate components that can be plugged in. I mean, I don't know if that's true. We just call it an internal module. Anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reviewing the iFlight Commando. Although if it doesn't get here this week, then it won't be reviewed for another 3 weeks. So I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks. So. Okay. Daniel Harmon says, I broke my non-removable TX16S antenna, decided to do the removable antenna mod. Is there a specific antenna to get? No, you need a 2.4 gigahertz, like a Wi-Fi antenna with a UFL connector. I don't know, as far as like which one will fit the bracket or whatever. No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Trying to throw some love. Trying to throw some love at the Discord. I'm looking through the Discord for questions, but I don't see any right now. The Discord's a little quiet today. Let's see here. Got a question here from Supernatural FPV. What's your thoughts on where micros are headed this year now that we're seeing such little digital cameras coming online? Yeah, I'm super excited. So DJI has always struggled in the micro category. Even a naked Vista puts, you just can't really do a 1S. You can't do a, I mean, somewhere out there, Mr. Shutterbug has done a 1S. I guarantee he's done it. I haven't looked it up. He's done a 1S Vista, naked Vista toothpick, and it done it, but it's just not viable for the sort of mass production. So because of the weight and also because of the fact that the Vista needs minimum 2S voltage to run, people just aren't doing very many micro Vista whoops. You need a minimum 2S, probably 3S to really get good performance, and the weight's going to be really high. So Sharkbite, though, HD0, that gets the weight down to a point where it's still heavy, but it's much closer to viable. And I do think it's going to be really exciting. The crappy 25 milliwatt video transmitters have always been one of the biggest So there's two major weaknesses of Tiny Whoops. One is the crappy video transmitters, and one is the crappy receivers. Express LRS solves the question of the crappy receivers. If people might say, well, what about Crossfire? Yeah, you could put Crossfire on a Tiny Whoop, and people do. People do complain about the weight. Even the extra gram or two of weight does matter on a little micro. And sorry about that notification sound. I had the desktop unmuted. It's muted now. But also Crossfire, like the built-in Express LRS receiver on some of these flight controllers is significantly lower weight and fantastic range. So then, video transmitter is the next place to solve. And I think that HD0 is a great answer there. I think it's very exciting. Got a $5 super chat here from Pollo Hermanos. Now that you've had them for a while, do you have an updated recommendation about the iFlight versus the Torval bag? The zipper's still good? My iFlight backpack is still 100% and still love it and recommend it. Now there's a bunch of questions coming in on the Discord because I said I would be looking over there. FPV Junkie asks, what was your outcome with the KISS Ultra versus the G4? Yeah, so I showed some sample footage of the KISS Ultra versus the G4 previously on my stream. I can update you a little bit on that. That video is going to finish editing this week, and it will release maybe this week, maybe next week. So for those, I know it's taken a long time. I've been talking about it. I've been working on it a long time. So number one, I've had to swap the flight controllers into the same quad because I don't want to take a chance that I put it in a second quad and like there's something different about the frame or the motors. Even if they're built identically, I don't want to risk affecting the results. So I have to fly the one of them and then literally solder a new flight controller into the same quad. That's one reason it's slowing me down. The other reason is there's just going to be so much attention and pressure that I want to make sure I get it right. And so I was flying them in a quad, and both of them were performing worse than I expected, and both of them were acting like they had a bad gyro. And I thought, that can't be right. So I took them out of that quad, and I put them in a completely different quad, and it was fine. And I'm like, ah! So I don't know, like the quad that I had them on was brand new motors. I literally put a new set of motors on the quad just to make sure there wasn't a bad motor. It was not a brand new frame, but the frame didn't have any obvious damage, and not a brand new ESC. Something was wrong with it. Maybe the frame has a crack. I don't know. So I had to redo all the tests. But those tests that you saw me show last weekend, both of them, I wasn't trying to trick you. I hadn't figured this out at the time. Both of them were done on a quad that had something wrong, where both of them were performing worse than they should have. Now, interesting, I'm still going to show those results because one of them clearly dealt with the problem better than the other. But I actually have updated footage. So let me tease you a little bit more with a little bit of better footage. You know, if that would be interesting to you. I'm not going to reveal which is which, because I don't want to spoil the results. Like this. Hang on. All right. Now, unfortunately, the video is going to look like crap because this is a live stream, so it's going to just immediately be potato quality. That's the consequence of live streaming at a low resolution. But here we go. I want you to hear the video as well. Hang on. So this is either the KISS Ultra or the FETtec G4. I'm not going to say which. And it's on a completely new quad than the one I showed you last time. And I'm not going for, you know, freestyle ridiculousness. I'm just trying to feel out the PID controller. Yeah. James Hu thinks it sounds like the KISS Ultra. I'll never tell. Trying to do this move that the guys were doing during they were here for the race. Oh, not bad! So, yeah, I did some more regimented maneuvers, you know, flips, rolls, throttle punches. I'm going to give you guys another one. Hang on. I don't want you guys to hear. I say at the beginning, potentially, which one it is. I don't want you guys to hear which one it is. Hang on. Okay, you guys can't hear the audio. Oh. Okay. Never mind. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to give you the audio now. Well, apparently, there we go. Oof. Wow. Is this before or after I moved to a different build? Hang on. No, okay, sorry. So those are the problems I was having before I switched to a different build. You see those twitches? Hang on 1 second. Yeah, that's a problem with the build, not a problem with the flight controller, for the record. That's the problem. That's why I switched to a completely different quad. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Is Ultra or FETtec G4? What do you think? I don't know what. Wait, shut up. There better not be stabilization on that camera. Shut up. Oh, God. How? 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 That's sad. Jildor is sure that's the Kiss Ultra. I'll never tell. I mean, you guys have a 50-50 chance of being right. So, as to which is which. GMI Visuals thinks they both sound the same. I mean, I will tell Cyclone Bow. Not today, though. Today. I'm not going to ruin it today. I'm going to do the video with full context. Oh, that was an accident. Anyway. Well, little teaser there. So that is what happened after I reshot the whole test using new quadcopter. And if I had stabilization on during the test, then unfortunately I'm going to have to do it all again. If I tell you what it is and you're wrong, you're going to super chat 20 euros, Yildor? I'm tempted, but I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the video. Yeah, Mike Bergman, apologies for the potato stream. Whenever you show FPV footage, the bitrate goes to shit. So. Have I tried the FETtec firmware yet, Mr. Huggy? I have not. That's the other thing that might make this take longer is so all of my tests were done on the release firmware. Now, the Kiss Ultra, the release firmware is still in beta, but it's available to the public, and so I used it. On the FETtec G4, the firmware is like still in alpha. And they gave me a copy of it, but I wasn't sure whether it was right to use it. Because if it's in alpha, it's still heavily under development. So even if I run the test today, by the time it hits release, it may not be valid. So, sorry guys, sorry about the notifications, guys. I'll go ahead and mute the desktop again so you guys aren't hearing the notifications. Apologies for that. Yeah, when I unmute the video, it unfortunately means that you guys can hear the notifications. Do I think I could tell them apart blind? Says Aerospace Inc. I mean, they have different OSD, so assume the OSD is turned off. I don't think that would be easy to do. So the other thing is that when I tested them, I set them both to the same PID profile. The KISS Ultra default PIDs, KISS Ultra has their Ultra default PIDs, which I checked, and if they are the same as the Crunked Golden Starting Point, I think is the one that it's the same as. So set them to the same PIDs, maybe one flies better. But set them, you have Crunked hand tune each of them, maybe they both fly great. It's really hard to say. Anyway. We'll have to see. Mr. Huggy says it's on the FETtec Discord. Is it released to the public, though? Or is it only being distributed through the Discord? Which, the Discord, obviously, anyone can join. But I am hesitant. I don't know why this feels like the thing to do. I may have to examine my where this gut is. I have a gut instinct that I shouldn't release a video on alpha firmware. Especially not like a head-to-head. So does that mean I should wait 3 months? And, I mean, I don't know. Maybe do both. Maybe do both. See, try both. Yeah. Elias Reisinger, yes, I have been flying Betaflight 4.3, but I haven't done a shootout saying, here is Betaflight 4.3. Yeah. So, I'm not sure. I got to think about it. I think if you're trying to decide between the KISS Ultra and the FETtec G4, there are many, many more things that will factor in than just the PID performance. To tell you the truth, and like Vanover says, he loves KISS Ultra. He's like, FETtec's good, KISS Ultra's better. He's like, oh, it's so much better. I should make sure I've quoted him right. Hang on, I'm going to make sure I got that right. I'm pretty sure I did, but... Vanover. Hello? Come on. Come on. He thinks Ultra flies better. So Vanover feels strongly that Ultra's better. I'm not convinced that one is head and shoulders better. And I have a feeling that if one was better, a little bit of PID tuning would probably even them out. So, but like there's various other things. Like the FETtec G4 has 2 ESC plugs. If you're going to run a hexacopter or an octo, the G4 is your option. The FETtec G4 has a built-in 16-volt regulator. However, it's not actually powerful enough to run a DJI unit, so that actually may not matter. You still have to run it off of VBAT. Yeah. Mad Max FPV says, I worry pilots get the placebo effect pretty badly. Yeah, so I am aware of the placebo effect, and obviously it's impossible for me to do a blind test of myself. So unless I really definitively notice a difference in flight feel or latency, I try and just be like, I don't know. I don't really feel a difference. I try and default to this agnostic stance of, I don't notice a difference. Unless I'm really confident that there's a difference. And I hope that means that if I do say there's a difference, that carries more weight. Because I don't just, like, oh, yeah, it's so much better. Yeah. So... Any news on an official release date for 4.3? An official release date for 4.3. The way that release candidates work is they release the released candidate. Then when there are no bugs, they decide to make it official. There is no date. The date is whenever it's done. Right now, we're in RC2. There was a change to the preset functionality, and therefore, at least we have to see RC3. Now, RC3 is not out yet. So we have a minimum of, from whenever RC3 comes out to another week or two before there will be an official release. So minimum of two more weeks, I would say. If RC3 were to come out today. because they're going to release it and then they're going to wait and see what kind of bug reports come back, if any. And that's going to take time. Hmm. 507 Fast FPV. I've put BlueJ firmware on my ESC's bidirectional, still not working, version AH30. I wonder if you saw this comment on my BlueJ video. There's a pinned comment on my BlueJ video. It should be pinned. Why is it not pinned? Are you kidding me? Did I not pin it? Oh my gracious sakes. Alrighty. Hello? Once you left the comment, it should be pinned. Why is that not pinned? Oh my god. Thank you for helping me find that. I am surprised that's not pinned. Hello? You comment on YouTube, please. Hello? Can I pin it? Pin. I'm surprised that's not pinned. So, 015 BlueJ is bugged with HESCs. Roll back to 014. Could that be the problem? So you have an HESC. Dragonwing FPV says, tell Rotor Riot to do a blind test with Vanover, Betaflight 4.3 versus KISS versus Ultra G4. I mean, who knows if they would want to do that. Who knows? The thing is, the reason I'm not, I mean, I guarantee that that would get 1 million views, so fine. But the problem with that test is, like, you would need someone to tune them, and then the test isn't blind anymore. How do you just test defaults? That's my approach. You test the defaults are supposed to be good for everybody, and you get a baseline. But if somebody like Vanover is flying, he might go, oh, the stick feel is bad. I would raise feed forward. Well, you're more testing at that point how much he likes the defaults. Darkman says BlueJ 016 is out. Can we assume this has been fixed? I would hope so. Sean Harrison says Rotor Riot is dedicated to not running KISS. Really? Do you think so, Sean Harrison? I know something you don't know. I think you're going to be very interested to see this coming Monday's episode. But I can't say any more because I will get yelled at for spoiling episodes. Yeah. Okay, no, it's this Monday's episode. I've seen the draft of this Monday's episode of Rotor Riot, and I think that people who say Rotor Riot is dedicated to hating KISS are going to have egg on their face. But, you know, you should just tune in and see. Okay, I'm just gloating now. Like they did that test where they had Vanover fly 2306 versus 2207. Thomas and Antonio. Is DJI going to implement live audio stream in a future firmware update? There is no indication that they plan to do that. That doesn't mean they won't do it, but there is currently no indication that they plan to do that. So Rotor Riot is exclusively flying Falco X now. That is correct. SSTFPV says, people still watch Rotor Riot? Can I tell you guys something? Hang on a second. I'm going to show you guys a little behind the scenes. And I won't spend too long on it because, like, sometimes I show people behind the scenes stuff, and some people go, we came here for FPV, not YouTube behind the scenes. But can I show you guys something? Very briefly. Where's my... Here we go. I have been trying to learn more about the YouTube ecosystem. And as part of that, I did an industry audit, which means you just go down and you look at other channels in your niche and you gather some information about them. And here's the interesting thing. Everybody likes to hate on Rotor... Well, not everybody. Some people likes to hate on Rotor Riot. Rotor Riot is one of the biggest channels in this niche. Like, for example, hang on, let me, can I filter this data? Create a filter. Can I filter this data? Hello? Can I filter? Oh, here we go. So let's filter based on channel. So there's channels and videos. And then let's sort based on subs. No, other way around. So there's flight test, but flight test does a lot of fixed wing and not as much FPV these days. Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele is interesting because he has 447,000 subs. Okay, so he's huge. Let's put another column in here, though. And it's going to be views per sub. Okay, and we'll fill that down. We're not going to go any further. And these, new. There we go. And then let's just make it a number. There we go. Perfect. So, Mr. Steele, 0.06 views per sub. RC Test Flight. RC Test Flight is killing it. He's not really in the FPV. I mean, he flies FPV, but he does a lot of gadgets and so forth. By the way, these views are just me looking at your page and like this is not, the views are just an eyeball number, not an actual average. But RC Test Flight is close to 1-to-1, 1 view per sub. He crushes. Teaching Tech 3D printing, not even in niche. Johnny FPV. Johnny's a weird one because all his YouTube posts are basically just his show reels, right? RC model reviews. Now here's what's interesting. RC model reviews, lots of subs, very, very few views per sub. 0.06. Similar to Mr. Steele. Rotor Riot. 0.11 views per sub. When people say Rotor Riot, who watches Rotor Riot anymore? Rotor Riot actually has one of the highest sub counts in FPV and a pretty high view per sub as well. They're one of the, I mean, just strictly speaking about numbers, they're doing the best on YouTube. Well, not the best, but they're in the FPV niche. They're doing really well compared to a lot of people who are less controversial. And then we've got some people out there, and this is pure numbers. So I don't want anybody to go, why is he picking on so-and-so? These are pure numbers. Like other channels with huge sub count, like Ready, Set, Drone, really poor views. Big sub count, really poor views. Painless 360, 146,000 subs, 3,000 views, 0.02 subs per view. Nurk FPV, fewer subs, excellent views per sub. He's like doing really well. Drib is crushing it. Look at Drib, 100,000 subs, 25,000 views per video. That's an amazing. He's like, well, you're saying who's the most successful on? Compare Drib to Steele. Drib gets the same number of views as Steele with 1/4 the subs. What does that mean? I don't know. You decide. I'll stop now. It's very interesting data, though. Bot Grinder, 29,000 subs, 6,000 views, 0.21 views per sub. Excellent. He's doing really well. He needs more subs, but he's doing really well. Chris Rosser, 0.53 views per sub. He's crushing it. So, oh, sorry, that's Head Matza. 0.34 for Chris. Anyway, how about my channel? All right. Well, I'm not on here because this is an industry audit, but sure. Sure, let's just look at mine. So, I have 237,000 subs. $230? What am I at? 237. And my average views per video, let's just look, 22, 41, 18, 11, 7, 30. Should we take out the live streams? I don't know if we should take out the live streams. I'm not sure. 30. The live streams seem to get around 6 to 8, 13, 26, 12, 7, 15. I would probably put around 15 to 20,000 views per video. Just based on, you know, again, no math, just eyeballing it and gut checking it. I'd put maybe 15 to 20. If you take the live streams out, it probably goes to 20. So let's just say 20, since it's my stream. And that gives us 0.08. So slightly better view per sub than some, but not like, you know, groundbreaking. Ready, Set, Drone. 171,000 subs, only 2,000 views per channel. It's interesting. It was very eye-opening to me because it's easy to notice sub counts, but especially if you look at just like the last 6 months of content, like Ready, Set, Drone. I was like, why? He has videos from 5 years ago that have 5 million views, but his last, you know, 3 to 6 months of videos, most of his videos are under 2,000 views. Like, what changed? I don't know. Now we're just talking shop. But there you go. Interesting stuff. All right, that's it. That's it. That's all we'll talk about. Anyway, the takeaway for me was that Rotor Riot and Drib are doing way better at YouTube than I think the public perception of the FPV public is. And one reason for that is that Drib reaches out of FPV. He's got a whole bunch of car stuff, motorcycle stuff, RC stuff. I think that's the number one reason he gets more views, is he has a broader appeal than just pure FPV. Matt Pochwat is 0.9. Yeah, Matt Pochwat is crushing. He is also almost 1-to-1 views per sub. He doesn't post as often, though. Anyway. Family Guyver says reviews of products bring in subs. That's not 100% true. Albert Kim basically does product reviews, like almost 100%. Not 100%, but basically. Albert Kim, 51,000 subs, about 2,000 views per video, 0.04 views per sub. So a little bit lower than some other channels. There you go. ZFPV says, you're missing the amount of videos and averaging based on a small time period. Go a year back would give better, more telling results. I disagree, ZFPV. Anything that happened on YouTube more than a year ago is completely irrelevant from the perspective of how successful is your channel today. Is your channel doing well? Is it growing? And specifically, and this is the reason I'm doing this, should I be looking at your channel and saying, what is this guy doing better than me that I should be paying attention to? That's ultimately the motivation for doing an industry audit like this, is to find out in what ways you could be better servicing your viewers. UAV Futures, the problem is he hasn't uploaded content in too long. So, stuff that happened a year ago is still relevant. Like, you still get revenue from stuff that's over a year ago, and having a back library of content is relevant. But as far as the things that made someone successful on YouTube 2 years ago don't make them successful today. That's my point. Anyway, let's move on. DJ Narkhasa wants to know, you know what doesn't make you successful on YouTube is talking about YouTube to a live stream of people who want to hear about FPV for 45 minutes. DJ Narcasa wants to know, what do you think? Thank you for €5 super chat. What do you think about Beta FPV Express LRS receiver with Tower SMD? I think it's exciting. As far as performance goes, I think we need to test it. See if I can find, excuse me, let's see if I can find a picture of it. Beta FPV has this new receiver with a, so here's the traditional ceramic antenna, but they've also got a version with an SMD antenna, which is lower profile and less likely to get broken off. As far as the specs go, it has almost identical specs to the ceramic antenna. As far as real-world performance, I don't know if anybody has tested it. So. There we go. I'm excited. I'm excited about the potential. We'll have to test it to see if it's any good, though. Rotor shot FPV. Why is the freaking... Why are some of the super chats coming up and others not? That's weird. Rotor shot FPV. It's here. Rotor shot FPV. Thank you for 450 pounds. Love the new set and lighting, and the LUT looks banging. Thanks for getting me into FPV. Such a legend. Thank you so much, Rotor shot. Crash to for FPV. Thanks for a $10 super chat. I'm thinking of getting a Flywoo Explorer LR DJI version. Will I be able to use the DJI radio with good results? Yes. The DJI radio has as much or more range than the DJI goggles. So you're thinking, do I need Crossfire for long range? It can be nice to have a higher performance control link, but if you're worried about limiting your range, no. The DJI controller has as much or more range than the DJI goggles. Not an issue. Dakok 100, thanks for 5 pounds. I'm a middle-aged man now that I've joined your Patreon. Idea for a video. How to get the most out of your Discord as a Patreon. Aber the Ham, thanks for a $5 super chat. Can we as a community come together and pressure manufacturers to make an Express LRS board that can be swapped with the internal multi-protocol module on the TX16S? Good question, Aber. I don't see why you couldn't do that. Radio Master. I'm going to ask my contact at Radio Master right now, before I forget. I'm not going to do it on stream because I don't want to, you know, that would be rude. I'm going to ping him right now, though. I'm going to ask him, and we'll see what happens. That sounds like the kind of thing Radio Master would do, doesn't it? JC in the Discord wants to know, which FreeSky external module can I use on the T-Pro or the Zorro internal ELRS models to bind a couple of old whoops? On the T-Pro, okay. I think the one to get today is the TBS multi-protocol module. It may be one of the only ones you can actually order these days. Now, this is actually made by Radio Master, if you're wondering. And it will work with the Tango, but it'll work with any OpenTX or EdgeTX radio. So, I think you're good there. Okay, I am out of disk space, so I can't keep recording. That's sad. I have just failed to record my... Hang on a second. Brilliant. How is that drive full? Wow. That's sad. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. That'll clear up a lot of space. And let's start the recording again. Okay, the recording is going again. What else needs to go? Steam library. Steam apps. What needs to go? Oh, God, all these sims. Let's get rid of them. Clearing up space. This is why I have no space on this drive. DRL sim. We'll keep DRL sim around. You can stay. DVR simulator. What is that? I don't know. Bye. Factorio. Haven't Flow State, Forts, FPV-R2, FPV Drones, FPV Freerider, Recharge, FPV Skydive. You can all go. Gary's Mod. Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, no. I got that for the sim install. You know, bye. I need to be able to record my live streams, please. Lawn mowing simulator killed my PSU once playing that game. That can go. Oh yeah, no, this can all go. Oh yeah, look at all this crap I've got on here that I don't need. Okay, uncrashed can stay. Okay, cool. Now my computer's frozen up. And we're back. Alrighty. Let's see. Now I have plenty of space to continue recording my stream. Backyard dronery, it'll be fine. There's Steam games. It's not gonna mess anything. Cody SA, thanks for $2.79 Canadian. Any chance to get the DJI protocol in a module? Nope. Not gonna happen. Sniz FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. Winter is here. Not flying as much as I would have hoped. I have a 5-inch quad. What indoor-outdoor DJI quad would you suggest? Indoor and outdoor. The indoor, like the iFlight Alpha A87 is like the closest to an indoor DJI quad that there is. It's still pretty big and powerful for indoor, but it's like the closest. So I guess the iFlight Alpha A85. Captain Cannoli, thanks for a $10 super chat. How do I disable the onboard VTX on my Happy Model Crazy Bee Express LRS? I soldered up a Tramp Nano and I don't need onboard anymore. I don't know that you can literally power it down. Take the, I don't know that you can literally power it down. So if possible, like put it in pit mode, but I don't think you can, chat, is there a way to like actually power down that VTX? Cheech FPV, thank you for a $5 super chat. If you had to pick between the Tango 2 Pro and the Radiomaster Zorro for ergonomics, which one and why? Ooh, that's tough. I think the Tango 2 has ergonomics that better fit my hands. It's close though. It's close. If I had to pick between the Tango 2 Pro and the Radiomaster Zorro overall, I would take the Zorro. I like the bigger screen. To me, that's a plus. I like the control layout. To me, that's a plus. I like that it can have Express LRS built in. I'm not putting Crossfire into any new quads these days. So the Tango 2 Pro with Crossfire is not as compelling as Express LRS. But just based on ergonomics, I think for my hands, the Tango 2 Pro wins. Let's see here. Now we're caught up on Super Chats. Thank you so much. Glad to be caught up. Which one has better build quality? Scott Southard. That's a tough question too, Scott, because the Zorro is a brand new product, so it's hard to judge the build quality until they sell 500 of them, and then we find out if anything's messed up. You would want to give the edge to TBS because of their reputation, but like there have been issues with the gimbals on the Tango 2. Some people say the gimbals mess up in cold weather. Like TBS's reputation for hardware builds is not like what perfect. It's very good. And frankly, Radiomaster's reputation for build quality is fairly good. So I'm not sure who I would give the edge to on build quality. Probably the Tango 2. But I don't think it's like a clear, just a no-brainer. Linux Barista says there is a solder point to disable the VTX on the Happy model. Okay. Let's see if we can find that for the super chat here. Going back to the question from Captain Cannoli. Let's see if we can find out how to disable VTX. No, no one's talking about the VTX. I don't see a clear way to disable the VTX. If there's a reference for where the solder point is, Happy Model Crazy Bee, not sure what to search. Built-in VTX. Can we find a reference for that solder point? Mr. Huggy, yes, that real pit will do exactly what you're asking for. Where is the solder point to disable the VTX? Don't see an obvious way to disable the VTX. That's funny that's a UFL solder point, but they've just soldered the wire directly to it. If anybody can help me, that would be great. But I don't see an obvious way to disable it. Thank you, Super Deluxe, for $10 super chat. I was in his video. I sent him a little clip to use in his video. Edward, thanks for a €2 super chat. What's the best value 1S toothpick? I mean, best value 1S toothpick. What options are there for a 1S toothpick? Like, it's got to be the. I mean, I just did a video about the baby ape. Is it the baby ape? Is the baby ape actually a toothpick? Some would disagree. I think this is one of the best values under $100 for sure. The motors are from the Emax Baby Hawk. They're leftover motors from the Emax Baby Hawk. You can get spare motors for like $3. The frame holds up pretty well in a crash. I mean, nothing is indestructible. And it flies really well for something small like this. I think this is compelling. The stock camera is pretty bad. I think you should upgrade the camera, which puts it at closer to $90. But Jeremy Sarge is on the money. You should just build an FPV Cycle 1. It's not going to be that much more expensive, and it's going to fly way better. But if you want one pre-built, this is my suggestion. Now, Andre Luis says, what about the Firefly Baby? Now, I'm not convinced that's a toothpick. He asked for a 1S toothpick. To my mind, that requires 3-inch props. So to my mind, this isn't a toothpick. I mean, it might be a good quad, but it's not a toothpick. I know the definition of toothpick has been stretched recently. PDX FPV wants to know, when are we going to see you on a Rotor Riot video again? That's a tough question. I don't know. I just haven't been traveling a lot and haven't been traveling to Orlando to shoot videos. I've just had a full schedule, and especially with some of the implications of traveling lately, there have been times when seemed like not a good idea to travel. But I'm still officially a Rotor Riot cast member. I still talk with those guys regularly. So Linux Barista wants to know, how can I show a link to the picture that shows how to disable? I'm going to make you a moderator, Linux Barista, and that should let you post a link. And then go ahead and post the link. Happy Model Crux 3. Now that's actually a worth looking at. Happy Model Crux 3. That's a toothpick, boy. That's definitely a toothpick. That's it. Yeah, that looks good. Can order with Crossfire. How about PMP? Can I not order it without a receiver? Interesting. There has to be an Express LRS version of this, right? Linux Barista, I do not see a link posted from you, unfortunately. You're gonna have to maybe post that link some other way. Like, you maybe chat it to me or something. Or if you're in the Discord. Unfortunately, I don't see the link. Oh, here we go. Got it. Thank you, Linux Barista. All right, I'm going to take your mod privilege now. No offense. So going back to the question from Captain Cannoli, how do you disable the VTX? Ah, here we go. Let's see. It's a solder bridge you remove. This solder bridge, remove it to disable the onboard VTX, Captain Cannoli. Thank you so much for that, Linux Barista. Will I be at Rampage, asks Remy Tim. I haven't decided yet. I don't know yet. I still have to figure that out. I hate committing to things long in advance. So if I do go, I'll only announce it at the last minute. What's the best 6S drone for beginners or intermediate? Asks Dovidas or Melis. Again, I have my website, fpvknowitall.com. We can go to 5-inch freestyle FPV drones, and boom. Suggestions include the Nazgul Evoke, the Roma F5 V2, or the Rotorite Vanny style if you want something hand-built. These are not the only good ones in the world, just a couple of ones that rose to the top. When is Rampage and where is it this year? Asks Family Guyver. The same location as before. And the dates are, I think it's similar dates, May 14th to 15th. Ostron FPV wants to know, why aren't there any 4K 60 FPV cameras with built-in stabilization? There are almost no built-in you're thinking of like the RunCam hybrid, right? I mean, there's a very limited market for split-style cameras like the RunCam hybrid in the first place. Most people are using, an HD cam. So, and most people don't want stabilization in their FPV cam. I just think it's a very niche thing, and nobody wants to make one. That's the answer. There's no technical reason why they couldn't do it, I don't think. Just nobody wants to make one. Venrad wants to know if the Baby Ape frame is compatible with larger motors. It's got... Where's my Baby style motor mount have? This is a 13 millimeter FPV cycle motor. Is it compatible? Looks compatible to me. It does look like a 13 millimeter motor from FPV Cycle would fit on there. So yes. I would say yes, Venrad. I haven't done it, but I think it can. Do you think the Nazgul V2 is better than the Diatone Roma F5 if I fly analog? That's tough. Both of them are very good. Both of them are very good. I would be hard pressed to pick between them, to tell you the truth. The Roma is a little bit more premium in its carbon fiber, like it's got beveled carbon fiber. The specs on them changed so much. Like it used to be that the Nazgul had a higher powered VTX, but that changed. So I'm not sure that's cut and dried. I think both of them are pretty good. Sub or Gulag says, have you seen the TX12 Pro Max yet? Have you seen the TX12? Oh, is that what's happening? Yes. Have you seen the TX12 Pro Max yet? It's like a TX16S Max with AGO1 gimbals. I have not, but I was told by my contact at Radio Master that they were working on gimbals for the TX12 and the Zorro, AGO1 style gimbals. I can confirm that that is a thing that is going to exist. So. What are the top recommendations for pincher stick ends? Asks Dingles. Good question. Pincher stick ends. I think two of the ones that I would suggest you look at, if we go to 533 and we look at ripsticks, the 533 Minchan ripsticks, I think these are, I haven't gotten a chance to try them because I've been lazy and haven't swapped them. But I tried these on Evan Turner's radio and they felt really good for a hybrid pinch style. I like that the top is flat, which gives you a place to sort of rest your thumb, but it's kind of wide. So as you move your thumb around, you have a little bit of room to let it sort of shift. And then the sidewall is not sloped in or out. So it's a flat sidewall for your hybrid pinch style to rest on. If you actually pinch, you might do better with a more sort of bulbous style. But for hybrid pinch, this is, I think, one of my favorites. The other one I would suggest is this thumb grippies. Now, these are the ones I've been using for the last month or two. The Specimen pinch sticks. The difference is this one is very thin, barely thinner than the M4 screw, and has a rounded top. So you get more of a point contact with your thumb, but also as you sort of move it left and right, it maintains contact a little. There's no sharp edge like the Minchan. These are the two I would suggest for a hybrid pinch grip. Okay. Yeah. People talking about the crown jewels. I have never actually used those. I do know a lot of people like them. So the crown jewels, they have a sort of, there's this tapered area for your finger to rest in, right? And a sort of an uneven, jagged top. Some people really like those. Are those on the Mambo? Maybe it's just the Mr. Steel Mambo. But I think I would suggest looking at both of these sites. So 533 has a line called the Ripsticks. And thumbgrippies.com has a variety. Unfortunately, it costs like $20 to get a set, and if you don't like it, you're screwed. I wish there was a way they could send like a sampler set to people and have them try and find the one they like, and then, I don't know, like send back the ones they didn't want. I don't know how you could do that. It's a shame because like I actually purchased a full set of these thumb grippies and a full set of the 533s, and I tried them all. And I think most people wouldn't want to invest $160, more or less, $150, whatever, on that. So. Thank you, Let's Fly RC. Thank you for a $5 super chat. Thanks for all you do for the community, buddy. Thank you, Sean. That's Sean over at Rotor Riot. Thank you, DJ Narcaza, for 10 euros. Are there any FPV goggles for analog and digital, like 2-in-1? Most analog goggles will also have an HDMI input and can be used with HC0, if that's what you mean. DJI goggles can be used with an AV input to be used with analog. So I would say, yeah. I would say yeah. Colin Metzger, if you're thinking of 3D printing these, I think you're going to need like resin printer or something. It feels like these would be very difficult to print using FDM just because of the high level of detail involved. Is it possible to put AGO1 gimbals on a Jumper T16? Good question. Is it? I think no. Does anybody know differently? Can you put AGO1 gimbals on a Jumper T16? I feel like that wouldn't work, not without modification. Is the chat going to tell me different, though? Colin Metzger says, challenge accepted. Colin is going to FDM print some of these. I'll tell you, if you can print one of these on an FDM printer, a traditional 3D printer, not like a resin printer, that will be extremely impressive. What you should do is you should buy a set so you could compare them side by side. Unfortunately, that means you have to spend $20 on a set. But I think, I mean, it's really detailed. Like, you're going to end up with a lot of overhang with really sharp details. DQ says they're actually made on an SLA printer. That's what I thought, DQ, although I wasn't sure. These are resin printed, it says DQ. John Goblin has some 3D printed stick ends. Let's see how John did. That seems about like what I expected, John. No offense. That seems about like what I expected. That looks, I mean, that looks, it has less detail. You're definitely going to be down on a tiny nozzle, for sure. Yeah, 0.2 nozzle minimum, Colin Metzger, maximum. I mean, you might even go to a smaller nozzle, but 0.2 for sure. It's my opinion as an expert in 3D printing. Muffinza says, how does the Zorro compare to the TX16S height-wise? Doesn't the big screen defeat the purpose of the gamepad-style controller? I don't know if that's true, Muffinza. Hang on. Where's my... Let's put them side by side. So, does it defeat the purpose? I mean, as far as like raw height goes, there's not as much difference as you might think. But I mean, if you look at it, it's clear that the Zorro is going to be easier to toss in a bag and take up less space. Some people are going to feel that it defeats the purpose, though. Try not to break my monitor as I put the controller over to the side. I like it. I like it. I have to say, if I were to pick one of this recent batch of radios as like to replace, you think you can't use the TX16S, you have to pick a gamepad style radio, it would be the Zorro. The ergonomics to me are the closest to something I really like. The only thing that I wish was different is these stupid sliders. They're right under your fingers. It's really unfortunate that these sliders are right under your fingers. Because that's like, I'm going to be, not only does it mean that I would bump them, okay, so just don't use them. But it means that I don't have a secure place to rest my finger unless I explicitly avoid the slider. But I as I'm flying, you know, this is how I would hold it. And guess if I pinch, my fingers kind of come to the outside and miss the sliders. That's better. If I thumb, and I don't thumb, but if I thumb, they really just sit right on there. I like the size. I like the ergonomics. I like the controls. I like that there's the control layout is very intuitive. It's easy to know what you're hitting. Extra momentaries here if you want them. I don't know what you would use that for. The size of the screen is really nice for... It's a nice balance between the TX16S and like something tiny like the T Pro or the Mamba or the Tango 2. The battery life is the real killer. So the battery life, an hour and a half on max power Express LRS. That's the real killer. So what do you do about that? Well, you could mod it to put 18650s in, as we saw earlier in the stream. It is possible. Or you could have a second set of batteries, or you could run it off a plug. That's annoying. I probably would mod it with 18650s if I had it as my daily. But the ergonomics, this is the first gamepad radio. Like, maybe I'm just a conservative guy, you know? Not politically, but just in the sense that I like things to kind of be how I like them to be, and I don't always like things that are new and different. So the Tango comes out, and it's got those flat switches, and I'm like, yeah, I see the advantage of that. That's a great idea, TBS. And then, you know, I'm like, okay, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. You know? I don't know. I feel like if I was going to switch to a gamepad-style radio, the Zorro is the one that sort of ticks most of the boxes for me, even though it's not perfect in every way. Do you have a recommendation for a reliable and professional analog receiver with HDMI output? Says Tilo. No, $4.90. Thank you for a $4.99 super chat. 4.99 euros. No, I don't know any ground station. You would need to. I have no idea. I think you would have to build your own, like with an Android tablet or a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, that's what you would do. Here's what you would do. Tilo, here's what I would suggest you do. So first get an Android tablet or phone. Okay? Then get one of these. And this is a USB-C to HDMI multi-port adapter. So this gives you a USB input, an HDMI, and a USB 3.0 output. Okay? Then you get an Eachine ROTG01. Will this work? Will this work? The ROTG1, I think this would work. You're going to plug the ROTG1 into that adapter's USB, and then it will work with your phone, and then you're going to use the HDMI output to like duplicate the screen. That's my guess. Ciati, I feel like you were extremely kind to only time him out for 300 seconds. It's very generous of you. Personally, if somebody trolls the chat like that, I just immediately ban them. But, you know, I respect that you're saving that privilege for me. So you've timed him out for 300 seconds. And if he comes back and he keeps trolling, then we're just going to ban him. I'll do it. Let me do it. I want to do it. Yeah. That's what I would try to do. Now it's going to be laggy. Steve Mann points out it's going to be laggy. This is only for spectating. It's absolutely not for flying. But that's my recommendation, Tilo. It's not reliable and it's not professional, but it's the closest to maybe getting the job done. Rainer FPV, thank you for 140 South African Rand. Would the SMA connector on a VTX pigtail touching the carbon frame cause the motors to get hot? I'm 100% sure the motor screws are not too long. Then no. Then no. The thing is, was the VTX pigtail hot? That would clearly indicate current was flowing through it. Alrighty. We are coming close to the end of the stream. 2:53 p.m. We got 7 minutes left. Aaron Ciotti, he is in the chat, and he is going to be streaming at 3 p.m. over on his channel. So he will begin posting links to his channel if you want to keep streaming. As a reminder, if you missed the beginning of the stream, there will be a stream tomorrow on Monday and on Tuesday. And then I am going to be out of town. I have a work commitment from the 7th through the 17th or the 18th. So I will be missing the next 2 weeks of live streams. Okay? So no stream next weekend or the weekend after that. Sorry. There will also be no news. I talked to Blunty about maybe doing it from the road, but I just feel like that would probably be challenging. I don't want to try to stream from a hotel and have the internet be shitty and have the stream. So I'd rather just take the weeks off. So just a reminder, that's going to happen. I will miss you guys terribly. I know you'll miss me. Let's get a couple more questions though before we finish up with the chat. Why can't Blunty do it by himself, says ZFPV. He offered to host the stream, but he doesn't have all the whole OBS setup on my end. He doesn't have. So and I thought, well, he actually said he could do it by himself. And I was like, nah, I appreciate that. But, you know, our back and forth is part of it. So I was just like, let's just take a couple weeks off. You know? Sorry about that, guys. How much faster than me was Min-Chan Kim on my home track? I wouldn't know. Because... Thank you, Johnny 5, for that. I wouldn't know because I'll be honest with you, I didn't fly at all that day, and I made that decision consciously. I said to myself, I'm not flying today, and I feel a little. It's like why wouldn't I fly? Like I have the opportunity to fly with Min-Chan Kim, and I thought there's two reasons I don't want to fly. The first one is that I just want to be here soaking it up, right? I can fly anytime, right? The gates are still out there. I could go fly right now. But like, imagine you're like a musician, right? And Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page and Buddy Guy, B.B. King all come. And they're going to hang out at your house, and they're going to jam. I'm not going to go be like, number one, I'm just going to be like, okay, let's soak this up. But number two, I'm not going to be like, yeah, guys, let's jam. Hold on here. Let me tune up my guitar. No, I'm going to stay out of the way. And don't get me wrong. If one of those guys is watching and they're like, oh, you would have been welcome to fly. I know. But like, what's going to happen? Min-Chan is going to be 3 times as fast as me. What enjoyment will I get from being on the line with Min-Chan? And then they go, in less than 5, go, beep. And then I never see him again until he laps me halfway through the race. What am I getting at? It's not like there's any, like, thrill. I know how that's going to go. So instead, I was like, the best way for me to use this time to my own benefit and the benefit of my channel is to just hang out, be a good host, interview people, talk to people, get to know people. The actual flying against them in a race is completely pointless. And it would just distract me from other things I could do that would be more enjoyable. So I assume he was at least 3 times faster than me. But definitely 2 times faster than me. But I didn't fly at all. I was just like, forget it. Gonna let these guys just do their thing. So, yeah, I'm dating myself by the guitarists that I picked. I like guitar. I like rock and blues guitar for sure. Hang on. I mean, should I have picked, what's that guy from Polyphia? Should I have picked Tim Henson? Okay, Tim Henson showed up too. See, I'm not old. I could have. I mean, I could have, but I just was like, I know how this is going to go. Like like there were other racers from Knoxville who flew with him, guys who are like really pretty good, like maybe not Minchan level good, but pretty good. And like if I was half as good as Minchan, I might be like, yeah, I'm gonna see how I do. He's gonna beat me, but how close could I get? Or I'm just gonna have the thrill of racing with him. But me, nah. Okay. Alrighty, guys, we are going to start wrapping up. It's 2:59. Thank you so much, King Poopra, for a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for many hours of good information. DJ Narcasa, thanks for €5. What's your thoughts on the FPV crate subscription? I'm not a giant fan of FPV subscription boxes. I think that FPV is a very specialized field. And so the chances of you'll get a t-shirt, which the t-shirts I like, but then what else are you going to get? It's very difficult to find a product with good margins that they can afford to include. And then a lot of times the product you get is maybe not something that you really wanted. Like I have a hot sauce subscription box. Pretty much any hot sauce they send me, I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, I'll try it out. I'll eat it, But with FPV, if they send you a flight controller, the chances that it's one you actually want to use is potentially pretty slim. So FPV subscription boxes, I think, have struggled to live up to their promise. That's my take. That's not a slam on FPV Crate specifically, but it's my general interpretation. Let's see, any other super chats? Josh, thank you for a $10 super chat. What are your recommendations for an Express LRS receiver for a 5-inch? More range than the ceramic antenna. Also, the EP1 is out of stock. Well, I mean, if you definitely want more range than the ceramic antenna, the Axis Flying is probably like the best one, right? In terms of build quality, get the Axis Flying. Okay, that is going to wrap it up, folks. Thank you for coming out with me. I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. For some more fun. Siati, have a great stream. And happy flying, everybody.